Crossroads is doing, kind of what problems you're facing as a result of the pandemic, and talk then about how we can help as volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely. Problems that we're facing as a part of the pandemic. What problems? Everything's going great, you know. That's how I would like to start this off. But as we are approaching, almost 1 year into, when the pandemic really, like became, ahead, things have I'm going to start off being optimistic, that we have a really small staff, and we only shut down for a very short amount of time in respect to the stay home and stay safe orders. We've been back open just in a very different capacity. Our mission has always been set upon, actually sitting down and working with our clients one-on-one. But, in a effort to be safe, we have limited the number of people who actually come inside of the building, and really kind of shifted into a more of a delivery system of like material aid. So the things that you guys have been working on collecting is really where we're focusing on distribution. The summer months, made it a lot easier for us because we could be outside, we could utilize our parking lot, and social distancing and things like that. But even still, what we're doing right now is mostly focusing on one, triaging people more so over the phone, because 80% of the work that we had done previous, pre-COVID, was done by volunteers. 80% of the work easily. And to be honest, looking at the demographic of our volunteer base was either a retired or elderly base, people, who, fell under that much more vulnerable population, who began to take a step back from volunteering, or student interns who now are only work going remotely. They're not allowing their students and volunteers to actually come out and do outside work into the community. So it has been the staff who have really taken on that that mass distribution, of the things that we have. I know that you guys, and Eileen, it feels like I've been, like, me and you know each other, and we've been working, really closely, with the diaper drive. It's probably one of the biggest, outside of food and diapers are probably two of the most requested items that we receive, throughout a daily basis. Food has always been our number one request from our clients and people who come to us for any type of assistance. So just to wrap my head up around you guys, doing your food collection and doing this ginormous, diaper collection, it hit right in the heart of the need that we're seeing right now. So if I could say it as, humbly as possibly, that we really appreciate it. And I know, Eileen and I have talked over the last few weeks, and it just seems like, how, God kind of says, like, he comes right on time. He may not come when you need him, but he's always right on time. And it just always seems that when we're running short on, the sizes that we're looking for, here comes, this delivery that we needed. Or, when the pantry is looking a little bit more barren, on Mondays, you guys are coming down and bringing food down. So, although the delivery system looks a little bit different, the need is definitely there. And if I could just have like 2 moments to like toot my horn, I've been at Crossroads for almost 15 years. This September will be my 15th anniversary, but this year is our 50th anniversary. So I know that Crossroads and Christchurch, Detroit has had a relationship for many years. So I think that this is a wonderful opportunity for us to celebrate together 50 years of, of working and serving the community. So we could not be celebrating this anniversary without you guys. So thank you so much. I say that, as honestly as I possibly can. I watched a video that we showed during our training of our founder, Father McLaren, saying, when he decided to open Crossroads, that, there were so many skeptics, that said, something like Crossroads could never exist, will be, his words were, we be dead in 4 and buried in 5. And here we are celebrating 50. So, when we are, doing the work of the Lord, he finds a way, and he's found a way for many, many years. And I was numbering files because I do a little bit of everything, like I do deliveries and files and everything. So, just to put it into perspective, over these last 50 years, we've seen over almost 131,000 individuals. So, if that number doesn't, blow your mind, it should, so, in regards to volunteer opportunities, we could always use helping hands. We're slowly getting into inviting people into the building and into the space. So, the volunteer things that you guys have done or been doing, by doing collections and things like that, have been amazing to us. Now, if you have, members or parishioners who, feel comfortable with coming out, now we need some help sorting and organizing. And even in the summer, we hope to reintroduce our summer lunch program and things like that. So I think that's something that we could just all work on together, and things where, it could meet our needs and also make the potential volunteers feel safe and comfortable with coming down, for sure.
Yeah. Nicole, in terms of sorting and organizing and so forth, are there particular days or particular times when we could provide people who could help with that?
The good thing about that is we're there every day, Monday through Friday, and we're there pretty normal business hours. So we would be open to, to having you guys come anytime. And that's really was one of the good things about our volunteer opportunities, is that people made their own schedules, so if they had 2 hours to spare on a Monday, or 3 hours to spare on a Wednesday or Friday, we're available to that. So we would, really kind of could work around, the time, that the volunteers, have to, to give. So we could, easily accommodate that. We're there
Okay.
Monday through Friday, and then we serve on Sundays. There may also be some Sunday soup kitchen opportunities. Sister Elizabeth Walters coordinates our soup kitchen, and how it's structured is that each Sunday is sponsored by a different church or group or company or organization. And although many of the Sundays have already been sponsored, a lot of those groups are finding a hard time with securing the volunteers. Lots of folks are still skeptical about coming out into the community. And then, the Sundays often served as like a team building experience. And now that people are so separated, they're working from home, their companies are not giving the okays for them to come out, and what have you. A lot of the groups are saying, okay, well, yeah, we'll sponsor it financially, but you have to find the bodies, to actually do the prep and the serving. So, we're putting the word out, and, we're trying to, develop a little, short call lists for, times when the groups don't have the bodies, or, to actually put it on. So Sundays is also an opportunity, which I know you guys, generally, probably meet on Sunday. So it may or may not, be, something that you could, accommodate, but those are just some, possibilities.
Well,
Nicole, what time
only,
does that run? Oh, I'm sorry, Sam.
no, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so throughout the week, it's pretty much, we're there usually by 8:30, and then we're out of there by 4. So anytime in between there, you can, kind of manipulate. Hi, Mrs. Seth. And on Sundays, we usually we break the day in half generally. So the morning half does the prep work. So they're making the sandwiches or making the meal, and what have you. And then the afternoon group would do actually the serving. So they're like packing them up and passing them out. And so just to say that we still have not introduced having people to dine in on Sunday. So we're just distributing meals, at the door. Now this past Sunday, it was a little bit different. There's a lot of the donations that have come into us. Because we're not, our clothing closet isn't open in our, in its, normal capacity. We've set out our, 6-foot, 8-foot tables out in the parking lot and distributed coats, gloves, hats, clothing and things like that. We had a bunch of like high school and college students, so they have tons of energy, more than I could ever imagine. I need my 3 naps a day at 40 now. But we had a bunch of young folks come and they helped to, distribute and things like that. So when we have the bodies, to do that, I like to see us be able to, to do things, more things like that for sure. The cold
Nicole,
months make it a little harder.
If we had some folks who wanted to come down and help organize and sort and so forth, do you need a lot of notice before these people come?
No, maybe a couple of days. Like if
Okay.
you call me on Monday and say, hey, we want to come down on Wednesday or Thursday, come on.
Okay.
Yeah, just let me know to be looking out for you.
Okay. And with regard to times when you need help for the Sunday lunch program, do you know that in advance that whoever's
I would know that probably within a week or two in advance. So some of the groups, are pretty secure on their crew. Some of the groups are a little less sketchy, like this Sunday coming up, and please, if I misspeak, I apologize. It's actually Christ Church Grosse Pointe who's going to be sponsoring this upcoming Sunday. So they have committed to, sponsoring the meal in itself, but they are having some issues with finding the bodies to put it on. So that's that, that balance. So, they're like, hey, we can buy, the food and things like that, but our group is having a hard time with getting enough bodies to do all of the prep. And we're finding that with not just this group, as that was not me, just throwing them under the bus. We've got tons of, volunteers who can still help, but we are finding, like just some of the corporations, their company is, what's the word I'm looking for, is not sanctioning for them to do outside activities at this point, so they're like, okay, we can financially commit, but we can't put our, say, hey, we can send out 30 or 40 volunteers like we used to be able to.
Yeah. Well, if you know, or when you know in advance that you
Yes,
need
sir.
some additional volunteers, if you could shoot an email to Eileen or to me or to Emily.
Absolutely.
I can't promise how many we can produce, but we may be able to help.
And sometimes it 2 or 3 or 4, extra bodies makes a difference, just a few extra hands when they say, many hands make light work. And sometimes we just might need a couple of people in the morning or a couple of people from 11 to 1. So we would never ask for you to commit to anything so huge that you are like, oh shoot, we overextended ourselves. But sometimes we do just need a couple of extra hands for prep or for serving. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Who would you rather the contact be?
Well, you've had regular dealings with Eileen. Eileen, is it okay if Nicole contacts you?
I'm fine with that. Nicole, I'm actually in Florida. So I
Oh,
don't remember if I told you that. But I
oh,
live
a
the winter in
little,
Florida.
was that a little
So,
subtle brag there?
well, yeah. I actually came home this last weekend and I got back to Florida earlier than I thought. And I'm really excited that I'm back.
Oh,
It was so
oh,
cold up there. Anyway,
oh,
I'd be very happy to be the contact person. What I probably at
thank
this
you.
point would be doing would be referencing, then referring it on to Emily or Calabria or Seth.
Okay, for
So
sure.
you can use me as
I
the
think
point
we
person.
would, yeah, and I think we're good for now. I was just putting that out as an example for this Sunday, but I can imagine that there may be some others, ahead. And of course, I would give you, ample, amount of time, of notice and, whatever that you would be able to, assist with would be appreciated. No pressure.
Nicole, another
Nicole,
thing that I'm so sorry.
no,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Another thing that I don't know if the part of your sorting and so forth, but I know we spent a lot of time last year with our diaper drive actually packaging up diapers for you into
Mhm.
little smaller things,
Right.
So it occurs to me, and this is easy for me to say because I'm in Florida, so, but it occurs to me that like if I were home, it might be a possibility that I would take, because we had diaper parties, packing parties, but we also, some of us just had them at home and sat while we watched TV and
Mhm.
bagged diapers ad nauseum. So if that was something, that might be something that those who aren't comfortable going in might be willing to
Right.
take a couple boxes away from you, package them the
Abs-
way you like, and then re-deliver them. It's just a
Absolutely.
thought because it's kind of a mindless thing. It's really quite soothing if you're
Yeah.
watching TV
Yeah.
to
No.
diapers.
Yeah. You watch some
If that would be
Bridgerton?
helpful. Yeah.
Nicole, does Crossroads do any food delivery to clients, or is it, do they have to come pick up the food?
No, unfortunately, we don't do any delivery services or our outreach of that capacity. Now, not to say in my 15 years I haven't broken a rule here and there, but 99% of the work is, that folks would have to come to us. Now, we do make it accessible for someone to pick up for another person. I'm gonna pick up food for my grandmother or for an uncle who is homebound or things like that. But just with like our insurance and liability and things like that doesn't necessarily support for us to do outreach or delivery in our own personal cars.
Okay, I have one other question, and then
For sure.
maybe some other members of the committee have questions too. Um, could you give us just a brief description of the clients that you serve? Are these people who are homeless, or are they people who are just food insecure? What can you tell us about that?
The people who come to us are what I would say are on both ends of the spectrum. We have people who are chronically homeless or chronically have suffered with mental illness or substance abuse, to the complete opposite end of the spectrum of I've had people just in many of the years that I've been there, they've worked all their lives and either found themselves just in crisis, and this is the first time that they've ever come to a pantry. I've had this year, in 2020, auto workers, teachers, moms who were who worked part-time while their kids were in school, and now they can't work part-time because the kids are home, and now they're not only trying to supplement that income but supplement that free breakfast and lunch, and snack programs that were have been eliminated. So it's our population looks so different. Our moms who come to us, through the parenting program, many of them work, and or had worked in the past. They may have worked food service jobs, where they could, work at a McDonald's and things like that. Their hours got cut so much, so it looks very different. I had a a nursing professional come to us, over the summer. And I know in the middle of the pandemic, like, but she said she couldn't work that many hours because she had 3 kids at home that normally would have been at school. Now she was finding herself, short on just some of those basic needs, and a lot of the things that we offer, even outside of food, we're talking, like hygiene items. There was a lot of emergency support, given, via bridge cards, as when the pandemic hit, to purchase food, but a bridge card doesn't buy soap and tissue and and deodorant and laundry detergent and toothpaste and things like that. It's completely restricted towards food purchases. So people were having a balance, like, am I going to buy food, or am I going to buy tissue, am I going to buy formula and diapers, or am I going to buy soap? So I think I always humbly say, many of the best CPAs in the world couldn't balance their budget like our clients do.
Yeah.
They're doing the very best. So that our people look so different, and they're coming from, and we don't have restrictions on who can come to us. We're not just a Wayne County, we're not just a city of Detroit. If you can come to us, we will see you. So we're seeing them on, all of the ranges of age. We're seeing, we see Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County, especially we see border at our east side office, that Detroit Macomb County border. They're, black, white, Latino, a little bit of everything. So, I like to always say, especially when, I'm helping with groups who are hosting on Sundays, is our clients look just like us.
Yeah.
They really do, for sure.
Great. Do other members of the committee have questions for Nicole?
I know I talk a lot, so you just gotta stop me. When I start talking about us, then I can't stop. So you can mute me whenever you feel like it.
No, it's great. Anybody else have any questions? We've got another guest that we're gonna talk to here in a few minutes. So if there aren't any other questions, we really thank you for taking some time out on this Tuesday evening.
Thank you. And I know Miss Eileen has my contact information. So if you don't think of anything right now, you think of something later, connect to her through me. I'm almost always at the office. I feel like I kind of live there. I'm in the lease, so if they ever sell the property, I come along with it. So, please feel free to, reach out to me or any of our other, administrative staff if you ever have questions.
Okay. Nicole, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nicole.
Have a good night, everyone. God bless.
Let me initially say thank you for inviting me to your community meeting this evening. We really appreciate it at the Detroit Area Agency on Aging. So we've had a long partnership with Christ Church for our Holiday Meals on Wheels program. As Mr. Seth said, Christ Church has partnered with us to feed at least 5,000 senior adults a holiday meal on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter. And so for last year and for this year, due to COVID, it looks a little different. So we currently are not serving hot meals to our constituents. We are serving them 1 5-pack frozen meals once a week. So in addition to that, we have partnered with Gleaners. And Gleaners offer what's called Q boxes or food boxes. And in these food boxes are non-perishable items. And so what we've been doing is, in addition to the 5-pack frozen that the senior adult receives, if that senior adult is able to cook, we will partner with an organization like Christ Church to deliver those boxes to them. In addition to delivering to our regular clients, our regular Meals on Wheels clients, we receive a lot of emergency calls from senior adults who don't have anything, can't get out due to COVID or the snow that we just recently had. So they're in need of some food items and they can cook for themselves. So we partner with volunteers to deliver those gleaners boxes to them as well. So how the system works is that you have to undergo a background check, just like for the holiday program. We do a background check because you're coming into contact with the senior. So you would pick up the meals from Trio, which is our food vendor located in the Michigan Ave, Rosa Park area. You don't get out the car. You call Trio to let them know that you're there. You pop your trunk, or they'll put the number of boxes in your trunk or either in your back seat, and then we provide you with a route, just like on the holiday. The routes are a little smaller though. The routes are either from 1 to 5 seniors, and then you would go deliver the box. You would call the senior adult and let the senior adult know that you're on your way. You would then place the box at their front door, ring the doorbell or call and let them know that you're out there. And then the senior adult will come out and get the box. So that way you're not having contact with them and they're not having contact with you, and everybody is safe.
Okay. And is that done on particular days of the week, or do you do it every day?
We do it Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Okay. And are you in need of volunteers to do that? I mean, if we could produce a number of volunteers, do you have need for them?
Oh, yes, we currently have need. Currently, we're feeding 2,300 people a week, and we have a wait list of about 26 senior adults who have some type of food insecurity that live in our service area. You know, our service area is Detroit, Hamtramck, Highland Park, and the 5 Grosse Points. And when I say the 5 Grosse Points, people usually look like Grosse Point, but yeah, Grosse Point, because they may be financially secure, but they're isolated, right? They need some things because they don't have anyone to support them or they can't get out.
Okay. All right. And how many volunteers could you typically use on a given day?
Anywhere between 10 to 12.
Okay. And I assume that if I wanted to volunteer, for example, I'd have to fill out some information to allow you to do the background check in advance?
Yes, we have a volunteer application. So all potential volunteers have to complete the volunteer application. And the volunteer application, it includes demographic information. It asks some COVID-19 basic screening questions. And it also gives us the consent to run an iChat background check and
Mhm.
also run a national sex offender search.
Okay. And is that available online? I mean, do we go online to complete that that information?
Yes, you can go onto the Detroit Area Agency on Aging website, the Senior Solution. Go to volunteerism, complete the form there, and then you will automatically receive the application.
Okay. All right. Do the members of the committee have some questions for Ms. Jones? Yeah, Nicole. You're muted, I think. Yeah, there you go.
It's not a question necessarily. It's very nice to meet you, Ms. Jones. I guess I'm always thinking ahead and thinking of partnerships because I feel that like eventually we'll be past this COVID time and get back to what our new normal is. I know that you say you guys are not currently preparing or distributing hot meals, but when you guys are ready to maybe even step into that on a small scale basis, we do have at Crossroads, and we're not far from you guys. You know, we sit right on West Grand Boulevard and 15th. We have a full commercial kitchen. So if there is a need for a space to do some you know, some prep and things like that, please know that I personally extend our space and facility for you guys to use or utilize once you're ready to, you know, or even if it's not a hot meal, if you guys just need a space to do some you know, assembly line in a, you know, in a licensed commercial kitchen, please keep us in mind, because otherwise on Sunday that space is relatively dormant. So please, you know, keep us in mind if you're ever looking for a licensed commercial kitchen space to do any prep work that would be available to you, you know, absolutely free of charge.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, because we do have what's called a congregate meal program where
Mhm.
we serve hot meals to senior adults Monday through Friday between the hours of 11 and 1. We provide all the food, all the paperwork. We just ask that you provide the persons to eat.
Okay.
And so, you know, with COVID, you know, once again, we
Yeah.
had to stop that program. And actually, what we did, instead of serving them hot meals, they pick up one of those 5-pack frozen meals, so that they can have something to eat, even though it's not a hot meal. We like to call it a fresh frozen meal, so
Mhm.
they can have
Yeah.
something to.
Or in hearing that, if you're looking for a centrally located distribution spot, again, please you know, keep us in mind. I
Okay.
personally offer our space in any capacity that you might need. So just keep us in your back pocket, please.
I sure will. And actually, what's coming to mind is the Gleaner boxes, because we have an abundance of Gleaner boxes. I don't know if you
Right.
partnered with the Gleaners previously,
Yeah.
but we have a ton. We just actually got 500 boxes.
Okay, we
The
can't take
only
500, but
but the only thing is that they have to be distributed to a senior adult. So persons that are
okay.
60 and older, or they can be 18 with a disability.
Okay. And we're sandwiched right between two of the low income subsidized apartment complexes. We're between Harriet Tubman and Coleman Young.
Oh,
So
okay.
you know, we'll connect.
Yeah, yeah, please do. Let's do, because I think we can definitely connect to serve some senior adults.
Absolutely. Please
Yeah.
feel free. I'm happy to
Okay.
help in any way that we can. I feel like if this is no more time than, you know, than appropriate for us to be, you know, all partnering together for sure.
Great. Thank
I'm
you.
loving the synergy. It just
Yeah.
I'm like, come on
See, it's
now,
who you were
so
meant to
let's
say,
make some
Nicole.
sandwiches. Let's get it out there.
I was just going to say, kind of just in terms of, we had talked in some of our past meetings about some of us are, you know, kind of in the high risk area, age wise and so forth. And so we've been hesitant about doing too many volunteer. We've done things with Pope Francis
Right.
Center, for example, but most of us have still not felt real comfortable going down and working in person with folks. I think we'll get better as vaccines occur and so forth. But the Meals on Wheels really is a kind of exciting in terms of, that's something that
Mhm.
that I think a lot of us could look at
Mhm.
signing up to do,
Yeah,
and helping out.
absolutely.
So,
I've already taken my first vaccine.
oh, good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go lick a handrail or something right about now. Just living life on the edge.
Ms. Johnson, let me ask you a
Yeah.
mechanical question.
Mhm.
If we go on the website where we fill out the initial paperwork, does that list the days on which you need volunteers? So that
No,
we,
it does.
okay,
No, it doesn't. What it does, it just asks for some demographic information: first name, last name, email address, telephone number. Then what that do, that once you fill that out, that goes straight to our volunteer department. Then our volunteer department will then respond to you with, you know, some thank you for volunteering. These are the volunteer opportunities. Attached is a volunteer form that you must complete. And then once you complete that form and get it back to us, once you have passed the eye check, we've conducted the sex offender registry, then we'll reach out to you and say, hey, these are the listing of volunteer opportunities in a specific zip code, because we like to keep our volunteers in a specific zip code for delivery. So I know that Christ Church is in 48201 or 48217, I can't remember, but you may live in 48215. And you may say, hey, you know, I can deliver on Tuesday in 48215. So if we have any participants in that zip code that, you know, should receive meals that day, we would route it out like we do just for the holiday. We'll route from Trio, where you pick up the meals. We'll give you turn by turn directions as to where you should go to deliver the meals.
Okay. Okay. Do any other of the committee members have questions for Ms. Jones? Well, this has been very interesting and very informative, and I think offers an opportunity to provide services to homebound seniors at really minimal to no risk to the volunteer. So it's great to hear about this.
It looked like maybe Margot might have a question. Margot, were you trying to ask?
Oh, Margot,
you have to unmute.
you have to unmute, Margot. Okay.
It's a little button to push. Tap your screen, you'll see an unmute.
Yeah. Maybe at the top of your computer.
There we go. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to unmute.
Hi, Margot.
Good, hi, good to see you. I think this is perfect for what we want to do.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can, I think the only thing you really need is in your car, you know, the place that gives you the routing to find the houses. But as I understand it, you're saying that we make a phone call as we are leaving your facility, and then or heading towards their home or whatever, and then call them once we've put the food on their front step, and we sit in our car and wait for them to open the door, right?
And pick it up, and then once they pick it up,
Wave.
if you have, you can wave. Actually, I had my sons throughout this summer because, you know, they were home, and, you know, I had them volunteer. My older son was home from college, and what he did, he dropped it off. He got back into the vehicle, rolled down the passenger window. When they picked it up, he waved. Him and my younger son waved. And that actually gave the participants some form of face-to-face too, safely, just due to COVID. And they were so excited just to have some form of face-to-face interaction.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One other thing before you leave, would you just go over the holiday, Easter?
Yeah,
What you hope to do?
so you know, with COVID,
You don't have to do that yet, but just before you leave.
Yeah, so yeah, I can do it now. So, you know, we usually serve 3,500 hot meals to senior adults. But with COVID, we can't, you know, we're not doing that because, you know, we want to
Just
keep
not
our
doing it.
volunteers safe, and we want to keep our participants safe.
Okay.
So what we are doing for Easter is that we're still going to serve them a quote unquote Easter meal with ham and all of the trimmings. But we're going to do a fresh frozen, and we're going to have our vendor deliver it on Good Friday.
That'll work.
So they're still going to get something, something special that they can have for Easter. It's just going to look a little bit different.
Great. Yeah, Josephine, you need to unmute yourself.
I know, it's like, where is it?
There you go.
I just had a question about whether the volunteer opportunity is only during the week, or do you have volunteer opportunities to deliver during the weekend as well?
No, our volunteer opportunities are only Monday through Friday, unless we do something on a holiday, and a holiday falls on the weekend.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Other questions? Okay, well, Ms. Jones, thank you very much. You've provided great information to us, and I'm sure we'll be back in touch.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you so much once again for having me. And please stay safe, okay?
Okay, you too.
Hi.
Thank you.